What to study if you want to become a gaming content creator? This is actually a question I get a fair amount, either from kids who are wanting to get into gaming content creation and their parents want them to study something, or from parents who do want to go through the traditional route of putting their kid through varsity or college and having the outcome that their child wants, which is to be a content creator. Well, there are a couple of bits of advice that I want to give you throughout this video, including what you could be studying to become a video game content creator, but let me tell you after the break. Want to win 2 tickets to the FIFA 2022 World Cup, loads of Twitch bits, which of course you can give away to your favorite streamers, or original artwork from the Coca-Cola campaign? Well, you can. This video is actually sponsored by Coca-Cola, and they're running the Real Magic campaign right now. Coca-Cola have hidden codes all over their Real Magic video ad, which you can see on screen right now. And if you want to watch the video in completion, if you want to hunt for these codes and redeem the codes that you find, follow the link on screen in the description. Everything you know is going to be there, everything that you need to know at least. And also there'll be a pinned comment with that link to follow as well. Good luck and have fun. First up, let me preface that there are lots of different kinds of content creation, and in this video, I'm going to specifically focus on gaming. In the gaming industry at large, there are actually a huge amount of different kinds of careers that you can have. Pretty much anything from being an accountant or being a game developer to being a voiceover artist to being literally, it's mind blowing. It's up to your skill set whether you want to become any one of those things. So this is also not going to be focusing on all the different kinds of careers that you can have in gaming, but specifically on content creation, just becoming one of the people that you watch. Myself, I've been in this industry for about 13 years, making content in the video game scene over many different mediums. I worked in and still work in television, written for magazines, worked in video production for companies that were trying to compete with YouTube in the gaming space like as early as 2008. I've worked with some of the biggest gaming content creators and content creators in the world, which is an absolute privilege. And there's a couple of things that I've learned that I would like to give over to you. Before we talk about actual subjects or courses that you should be studying, I think it's worth talking about what skills you need to acquire to actually do this job. Not many people talk about this. And a caveat here, these skills can be learned outside of studying, but a lot of people do want to go through the route of traditional education, so bear these things in mind. You want to learn good problem solving. And I'm saying that because a lot of this industry is completely uncharted. There's so many different aspects to what we do that cannot be written in a book. And solving those problems come up on a day-to-day basis. New updates for graphics cards, or like codecs when you are live streaming, when OBS has a new update and it completely crashes all the time, or if a new camera comes out, there's going to be a fair amount of problem solving in your part that's going to help you. And in fact, I think it's actually arguable that problem solving or good problem solving in and of itself should be something that we should all be learning, but I think it's something that in this case is going to help you tremendously across your entire content creation career. You've also got to learn to be agile, because this actually is a business and we do make money out of doing this. You've got to be as agile as you would in any career, being able to move and pivot between different mediums. If Vine is popular at one time and then gets shut down, what are you going to do? How are you going to pivot? Are you going to set up a YouTube channel? Are you prepared to learn new things? And those are all about being agile. Thirdly, you need to learn a little bit of lateral thinking. You're going to have to be creative in the way that you problem solve for either mediums closing down or the kinds of content that you should be creating, or making yourself unique in the space, or just making unique content. Lateral thinking is a tool set. It's something that doesn't come naturally to a lot of people, and it's something that you should be looking at developing constantly as you problem solve or brainstorm or create content for yourself. How do you set up your live stream? How do you make your live stream unique? All those things are important when it comes to being a professional content creator. Lateral thinking leads to something called creative ideation, just a phrase that I've just come up with. But being able to make great creative content means that you need to know how to think about making that content. What is it about something that you're going to produce that other people are going to want to watch, and how creative can you be in doing it? We're going to have to learn a little bit of business acumen, because that's something that a lot of people don't tell you that you should learn. But to have this as a career business development is extremely important. And of course, the thing that you probably knew about before you even started this video is just practical production, like how to use a camera, how to use editing software, how to make the content as engaging as possible. So what should you be studying? Well, there actually are quite a few courses and things out there that can help you with your content creation. One of the most obvious ones is getting into an advertising or graphic design course. They teach you how to think laterally when it comes to coming up with campaigns. They teach you how to sell products, which is something that you might need to know when you are working with brands constantly on your channel. They also teach you how to use a myriad of different creative tools like Adobe Creative Cloud, DaVinci Resolve if need be, and they also teach you what looks good and what looks bad. You might think that you have a really great creative eye, that your designs are the best in the world, but guess what? They probably are not. And having somebody like a lecturer or somebody that understands the creative space intimately, be able to critique your work for a couple of years, means that you'll probably be sharpened to create some really good content. And that in and of itself will stand out amongst other people who also just left school, thought they were great at graphic design, thought they were great at creative, and just actually weren't objectively. There's something called a USP, which is your unique selling proposition. It's something that you attribute to a product when you are trying to sell it. Like, are these the loudest headphones? Is it the greenest washing powder in the world for the environment? Like, all those things are their unique selling propositions. And then you've got to think laterally about how to show that off in the most creative and dramatize that in the most interesting way possible for the audience so that they'll remember it. So all great advertising does that. You have a USP as a content creator. There's a reason that people are coming to you. And if you work out a way to dramatize that correctly, you will have a great channel on your hands. And the way to think about those things is just, it takes practice. And practicing at varsity with other brands is a great way to do that. Any kind of school that's going to teach you film, photography, or video editing is very important, and obviously one of the most obvious ways to get into the industry. They, in and of themselves, won't make sure that you have a great channel, but at least you'll understand the tools to actually make the content. And there are a lot of those schools available. One of the great things about schools like that is they give you the ability to learn part-time so that you have the capacity to continue working on your YouTube channel. And in some cases, you can probably submit your content creation work, either your live streams or your YouTube channel, as hand-ins for projects. Being competent with a camera is extremely important. Being competent with photography is great for Instagram, and just understanding how you're going to make very interesting video, composition, all those things are very important to being a content creator. Again, you could probably learn all of that stuff off of YouTube, but if you want to go to a university and you want to get a degree or a diploma and study something, that is a great option, and obviously probably one of the most obvious options. The next thing I'm gonna split into two is it's marketing and business development. So business development is important because you are a business. If you're going to be a content creator on your own and you're going to make money, it doesn't just happen. I know a lot of people that just come up to me and say, like, I'm going to start making YouTube videos, I'm going to make money. That doesn't happen. If you want to make significant amounts of money, or if you want to have a significant impact for a long period of time with your career, you need to understand business. Business is extremely important. You are operating as a business, and you need to be able to deliver products to both the clients that are sponsoring you and to your audience regularly, and then work out a way to monetize that. All great content creators like Mr. Beast, Nate Shot from 100 Thieves, all of these really well off content creators have a great business acumen, which is something you can learn at business school. And also, business school can be one of those things that happen very fast and can be applied to many different industries. I don't think you can actually go wrong studying business and being creative on the side and working out how you can apply that business to your content creation. The second part of this whole thing is marketing. You usually study marketing at an advertising school, which good on you if you can. Marketing is very important because you can understand the entire machine. If you're a content creator that's working with brands, PR companies and marketing agencies are going to be working with you to create content that is going to either sell products or fund your channel. If you understand the machine from that perspective, that's really important. But also, marketing will also help you advertise your channel and get your channel out there to make sure that your channel ends up being a success, which is very important. And lastly, study something that you're passionate about, because the content of your channel might be gaming now, or you might think that you're interested in gaming now, but there's so many different ways and different kinds of content that you could be making. So for instance, if you are studying to be a paleontologist, you could be a world famous paleontologist. Or if you're studying to be a chef, you could have a world famous cooking channel. Who knows? But the whole idea is that if you are interested in content creation or gaming content creation, don't necessarily limit yourself to that, because you need to be agile and be able to pivot to something that you might be more successful at. All of these things will help you be agile when it comes to content creation. The whole industry changes nearly every single week, and having the ability to pivot to something that you are firstly interested in, or pivot to a new medium, or to conceptualize new content for a different space, all of those things come with these subjects that you could be learning. You can apply them to a huge range of different media over the course of maybe the next couple of decades, because in reality, media doesn't change. I said at the beginning of this video, I still work in TV, and a lot of the things we learn in TV are actually applicable here on YouTube. Good media doesn't change, and I think I'm gonna make a video about that. Content is always king is what you're gonna hear for the rest of your life, and it's true. Have a look at schools in your area or universities in your area that supply these kinds of courses, but a lot of this is also available on online learning like Skillshare. And that brings me to not a sponsorship for Skillshare just yet. I wish I had a course on Skillshare, but I want to help you guys out with how to study. So try find a course that gives you something to do part-time, because doing YouTube or any form of gaming content creation, live streaming is a huge time sink. To make sure that it's successful is a huge time sink, and it's a problem that you're probably going to come running up against if you are a kid trying to argue with your parents that you don't want to go to university because it's such a huge time commitment. But having the ability to do a part-time course and manage your time in such a way that you can continue to work on your YouTube channel or on your Twitch channel or on your TikTok, your gaming content creation, is very important. The skills that you can learn there can be plugged in to what you are doing, stuff that maybe your parents won't be able to teach you, stuff that you can't learn on your own. And secondly, you'll have the time to do that, which is really important. Just make things constantly. Don't stop making stuff. As soon as you start studying, whatever your rollout can be, whether it's a video a week or a TikTok a day or a video a month, just don't stop making stuff. Making stuff is going to always help you. I think of it like baking a cake, right? Like the best baker is somebody that's made 1,000 cakes over 1,000 days, not necessarily waited 1,000 days, studied on how to do it, and like finished up this amazing singular cake after 1,000 days. And when it comes to practical studies, make sure the university or the varsity that you are talking to accommodates some form of practical work. They might tell you that they do, but oftentimes they don't. And the only way to really do that is to, if you do have the capacity, talk to previous students who went to the school. They will be able to give you a good idea what percentage of the time was practical versus theory, and you need to know a little bit about that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If you really learned something and got something of value out of this, please consider subscribing. It really helps my channel out big time. We have a whole bunch of content like this, so make sure that you check that out. Let me know in the comments below what you think you should be studying, and I'm going to try and give you some advice there. This is also a two-way conversation, and it would be nice for me to help you out a little bit more practically in that space. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Cheers.